Hey guys, I'm going to talk about the George and the John guitar part and also the harmonica part. Then Brendan and Neil will talk about the bass and the drums later on in this video. First off, I'm going to start with the George guitar part. And I chose the BBC version because George isn't really playing too much at all on the studio version, and I can't actually hear him play anything. Either they turned him off completely, or he's just really playing it safe and not doing any extra notes. But for the BBC version, he really opened up and he's exploring a little bit more what he could do with the song, as well as Paul is, and they're doing these chromatic runs that I think are really nice. So I wanted to include those in the video. I just think they're really cool. So to start off with the George guitar part, he's playing up on the octave, higher up from John, right there. So they do that twice. First verse, he's just playing these simple chords. And then this is where it gets more interesting. So that first one, got that open note in there. D. Slide up. Back to this. Another bridge. This is one of my favorite ones because George is doing something cool where he's playing the root note, and then before sliding up to the G, he's playing the fifth below it, and sliding up with the fifth still below the G. So I thought that part was really cool, and I wanted to include it in this version. So let me play that again. A lot of open notes in there. It's a really nice part. I'll get you a close-up on that. Just doing a little picking. Hell yeah. Alright, let's move on to the John part. Doing pretty much the same thing. I'll turn down for it to get it more acoustic-like. And that's right, I'm playing the 325 on this song, but I should be playing the J160, as you know, plugged in. But the reason we went with the 325 also is because of this intro riff. It's so chunky. Turn down more. Sounds like he's kind of hitting that that G before he's getting to the G. And I don't think there's anything else interesting for the John part, really. He's just trying to sing and lay down some good rhythm. He does play the harmonica as an overdub. And I'm not actually a harmonica player, I'm just learning for the channel, pretty much. So it's a chromatic harmonica, a G. I'm using a C chromatic because that's all I had at Guitar Center. You just blow into it. For the he's got this bend sound. I like to put my lip in a certain spot where I'm cutting off the air, and I like blow downward into that, if that makes sense. There's probably plenty of YouTube videos explaining how to do this stuff. But it gets quieter too when you do that, so you gotta just keep it kind of quiet, then loud, then quiet to make up for it. And that's a 6 and 5, blowing then drawing. Play one note at a time if you can. And he's also doing this like wavery thing. A lot of guys do this kind of stuff. I did it by just shaking it against my lip. I just needed that tremolo effect to mimic what John had on the record. And that's it. That's the harmonica part. It's 2 notes. It's pretty simple if you know how to do the bending stuff. I really don't, but a lot of people do. And yeah, let's pass it on over to Neil or Brennan.
Hey guys, it's Neil here. I'm here to talk about the Thank You Girl bass. Alright, unlike other McCartney bass lines, this one's very, very simplified, I'll say. Not that it's always overcomplicated, but 90% of the song is half notes. It's just... You know, it's just kind of giving the kick drum a note sort of thing. Very simple pop bass line, very geared towards a very pop song. Also kind of leaving room for Paul to focus on singing more than a flashy bass line. I don't think the song needs a flashy bass line. He could have maybe done something more, but that's not my place to judge. It's still fun. It's still the Beatles. It sounds good. He's musical. They're musical. It's all good. The one thing I'll note about this that I didn't realize for years and I never see other people noting is not only in the beginning, the very intro of the song, is there not notes on the bass. I constantly see and hear people going... No, there's not notes being played there, but I believe that he's doing this. Oh, oh, you. It's mainly the guitars giving them at the beginning. So I think there's one time where he doesn't do it, or he does it halfway through or something, or it's just the kick drum or something. Oh, that's another thing to point out, is coming out of one of those dum 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 dum. He hits a wrong note. He does it way more than I ever realized until I started digging around these videos. He either kind of he kind of goes to a B flatty thing. He either bends up an A. I think it's but you know what? When they make mistakes, it still sounds good. There's just something about those guys, and also the way it was recorded and mixed. They just kind of, you don't notice it. You just don't notice it as much. That's cool. That's cool. Let me talk about what I use now. I use this bass, my Cavern Revolution bass. I've said this in other videos, but I'll say it again. It's my belief, you look at his bass right before he got the Hofner bass, and you notice that there's tape all around this bridge pickup. And then, you know, he got this system installed, and that pickup's obviously falling out. So either it was disconnected, the wires weren't working, or frayed, was cutting in and out, or it was flopping against the strings and making a sound or something. But I think by kind of the Please Please Me times until he gets the Hofner, he was using this pickup. It's just a little more clunky sounding in a good way compared to when he gets his Hofner, and it sounds more like a neck pickup. I don't think this is a bad sound. It's not like how the other Hofner has a bridge here. When you use just that pickup, it's literally like, it sounds like a, you know, there's no low end on it. This is kind of where a P-bass pickup would be. So it's a nice, more open sound than just a round sound or just a honky sound. So I think it's good. I mean, it's a good bass sound. I love the way you can hear it kind of, it won't be long. It's a little more From Me to You. Those songs with that bass kind of right before he gets the Hofner, it's a little more clunky, and then All My Love is boom, 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 you know. But yeah, Thank You Girls, you know, fun little pop number that they wrote, trying to get a hit. Pretty simple on the bass. Just remember the beginning. There's no notated playing bass notes. It's just notated playing bass notes. Wow. There's a new nonsensical phrase for you. Have fun playing. Have fun singing. You know what? Have fun with the Beatles. They're just what a band. Am I right? What a band. Wow. Okay. Neil signing off. Hell yeah. Sure.
So the Thank You Girl drums, one of my personal favorite Ringo drum tracks in all of his career. I like to call it almost Ringo doing his big band drummer impersonation. The best parts for me are the bass drum accents, which seem very specific. It also seems very scaled back, almost in a Buddy Holly way, kind of like the chords. And then especially at the end of the song, I feel like Ringo gets his big break. I feel like it's his first drum solo. The fills at the very end, like I said, feel like a big band drummer that's just showcasing stuff right during those two bits. The drum fills are awesome. One of my favorite tracks, especially recording the bass drum and remembering how the bass drum pattern accents go, is definitely a fun try. Thanks for tuning in.